I feel like our characters went on quite a big personal journey throughout this book. Contemporary fiction kind of tone in the writing, but I'm not sure if I'm obsessed with it. A 4.62 out of 5 on Goodreads. That's a very high rating, guys. That is incredibly high. And they're some of my favorite characters I've ever read about. So I actually can't. I'm gonna break down. Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you guys are new. Today we're starting another reading vlog, one that I have never done before, and I have seen a few people do this, and I just think it's really fun. It's a fun way to get through your TBR, maybe force you to read some books outside your comfort zone. And that is by reading the highest rated book on your TBR and the lowest rated book on your TBR. I'm definitely nervous for this one. I'm definitely nervous. Obviously with high rated books, I'm hopefully going to love it, but obviously there's that chance that like I'm the odd one out who doesn't enjoy it. And then with lower rated books, we all know that chance we're taking there. The way I have chosen my ratings and the way like that has helped me choose the books for this video is by looking on Goodreads. I figure Goodreads is like the most universally used book and therefore has the most ratings on a platform. And even though I use Fable like a lot of the time, I feel like everyone reads Goodreads. Like I feel like a lot of people read Goodreads. So I feel like it has a better average. We're gonna be starting the video with the worst book because like at least then we can finish the video on a high note if the worst book is in fact really bad. In 2026, I've been putting a lot of library books on my TBR. Well, in 2026, guys, we're a month into 2026. I'm not some new person yet. I hope to be one of those people who uses the library a lot. I kind of had this idea of like going to the library every month before I do my TBR video and picking out a bunch of books and then doing my TBR video so I can put those books on my TBR. That way I don't have to buy a bunch of books. But we did go to the library this month and I picked up a few books just from like that seemed interesting. And it actually turned out that the lowest rated book on my TBR was one of those library books. So the lowest rated book that we're going to be starting with today is Night We Lost Him by Laura Dave, and this has an average rating on Goodreads of 3.59. So it's not awful by any means, but it's not the highest rating in the world, and that was the lowest one I could find. This is a thriller and it is by the same author as The Last Thing He Told Me, which was like a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. They made a TV series out of it. I did read it. I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite thriller ever, but it was enjoyable. And yeah, this is her, I think, a newer release. The blurb says on the back, California, a beautiful night, a secluded house on a cliff top, where a wealthy businessman falls to his death on the rocks below. A tragic accident or murder? His daughter Nora and her half-brother Sam are determined to find out. Their search for what really happened that night takes them back into a past they knew nothing about and to a tangled web of relationships that other people would far rather stay hidden from view. Passion, intrigue, lies, and dark secrets that lie at the heart of The Night We Lost Him. An utterly beguiling page-turner mystery you won't want to put down. Look, if I can read this quickly, I'm more than happy. The only thing that is deterring me from that little prologue, and that's my bookmark in here, by the way, if you're looking, I've just put it in here so I know where it is when I start it. The only thing that is deterring me from that is and her half-brother Sam. They better just be finding out what they did to their dad. They better not be doing anything else because that is absolutely off my radar. I do not love, never, no. They better just be brother and sister. So awkward. Anyway, that's The Night We Lost Him. We're gonna start with this book. Hopefully it's okay. It's got like the biggest font in the world and really big margins. So hopefully we'll be able to read it really quickly. Maybe that's why it's a page turner. I think this is another Reese Witherspoon book club pick as well. So like it can't be that bad, can it? I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm very curious. I made sure to not look at any of the reviews either. I just looked at the rating. We'll look at the reviews later if I want, but I don't want to look at the reviews. I want to make my completely own opinion on this and not be biased. This is the book we're going to be starting with today. So let's go start it. Good luck to me. This is a very easy book to read. We are already over 100 pages in, so already like a third of the way in. I think it's about 350 pages, something like that. As I said, very easy to read. What is kind of confusing me is I feel like this is very much pitched as a thriller, right? Like we have a very thriller-esque cover and then we have like a mystery, a tragic accident, a murder. Like we don't know. It's very like the blurb, everything is pitching it as a thriller mystery. I would say this is more of like a mystery general fiction kind of vibe. Like it reads like a contemporary fiction. The sentence structures are kind of odd. Like some are really short, and I'm like, I feel like you were going to say something else and you only said half the sentence kind of vibes. And like, look, sometimes it works, but when we have quite a like high action point in this book, I'm kind of like, not that we've had a lot, like we're 100 pages in, but when something should feel a little bit more intense because of the writing style, it kind of feels very nonchalant, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe it's just my experience with this writing. I kind of remember that with The Last Thing He Told Me though, the other book I've read by Laura Dave. Like they're good, but there's something that separates me from them and something that makes me, I don't know, just not be quite as invested as I could be, I feel like. At the moment, I don't think the trope I was kind of hinting towards at the beginning and the vibe I got from the back, I don't think that's in it. Thank God. I hope not. I'll keep you updated because I feel like that's a deal breaker. I don't know why that occurred to me. Maybe that was just a me thing because I've been thinking about Cassandra Clare recently. I'm not sure. Honestly, the plot is pretty well explained in the back. We are following Nora. She's living her life, already going through quite a lot because her mum passed away kind of recently, so she's still working through that. She's engaged, but she is kind of in this very disconnected situation with her fiance. And one day her half brother comes to meet her to say, I don't think our dad's death was an accident. I think there's something more to it. She doesn't really believe him. She thinks he's just kind of being stupid or just like, this is how he's grieving. But as they start to investigate a little bit more, there's a bunch of these like things that have happened and things that don't just quite add up. And there's a lot of answers that they need. So they go back to Windbreak, which is the mansion their dad used to own, and start to investigate and see what happened that night. I'm not hating it by any means. I think it's a good story, but as I said, there's just kind of this sense of like disconnect to it. I don't know if that's the writing. I don't know if it's the characters. I feel like the characters are very surface level at the moment. I'd like to get a little bit more from them, which I'm sure we will. There's quite a bit left. Not bad by any means at the moment, just I'm not obsessed with the style of writing. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind like a contemporary fiction kind of style of writing, but I think I was just expecting a more thrilling, fast-paced style of writing. I don't know what I think about Sam as a character. I think he's fine, but I think you're meant to like him more than I do, and he's just kind of, yeah, fine for me. I guess we'll see where he goes. Okay, it's later in the night. We are well over halfway through. We are at page 222. That's a fun page to update on. It's good. I'm having a fine time. Is it the best thriller I've ever read? No. Honestly, I wouldn't count this as a thriller. I would more count this as a mystery, a general fiction mystery. Honestly, a lot of my thoughts are similar to before. I feel like it has a very contemporary fiction kind of tone in the writing, but I'm not sure if I'm obsessed with it. It's very short sentences. They're very short, blunt sentences, which I think was okay at the beginning, and it was okay in some scenes, but now I'm kind of like, I want a little bit more. I want to understand our characters a little bit more, and at the moment we're really not getting much. Like, I'm just gonna read a random thing. This isn't gonna be any spoilers, but Sam stares out the window. He is lost in thought and clearly not interested in talking. I focus on driving. The snow coming down harder now, blanketing the farmland, fogging up the windshield. We are moving slowly. Like, it's very simple kind of writing, but almost to a point where it doesn't hook me. I think because it's so spread out and like such short sentences, it doesn't hook me. And I think short sentences can be great sometimes, especially with the contrast of like some really long descriptive areas in the book, and then going to short, quick sentences really like makes it quite intense and makes it quite fast paced. But the whole book has been at this kind of pace, and it's interesting. As for our character development, because I've said that that's what I wanted a little bit more of, to be honest, I feel like our main character is just really lost in her life. This whole situation is coming at a time where she really doesn't know where she wants to be and what she wants to do, and she is really struggling with personal relationships. And honestly, it's just been handed to her. Like, back to back annoying things, bad things, shitty things have happened to her, and I feel like she's just kind of had enough at this point. But then this mystery is kind of what's driving her along, but in the process of like solving this mystery, it is damaging other relationships that she has. So I feel like it is a little bit of a study, if you know what I mean, or a character study, but I'm kind of hoping that there's some sort of like resolution towards the end on her as well, because that would be like some sort of closure for our characters. I feel like would be really good. The actual mystery, I'm not that invested in. I'm more invested in our characters, I guess, but I do have a theory. We have this kind of dual timeline as well, which is quite interesting. We're jumping back into a character's, I'm not sure if I'm going to say whose character it is because I don't know. We'll just keep it like vague. But we're jumping back into a character's past and learning about, I think, like their first major love and someone who really impacted their life and really changed them. So we're getting a lot of background on that character, which is kind of fun. And I am curious to see how those moments back in time impact the overall plot. So I don't know. I think we'll probably finish it tonight. It's definitely not hooking me, and I don't think I'm liking it as much as the last thing he told me, but I don't think it's that bad a read. I feel like I really prepped myself going into this because it is a lower rated read, which, by the way, 3.5 or whatever this was, not even that low. Last night we did end up finishing The Night We Lost Him. I don't know. I'm leaning towards like a 3-star rating. Like, I think it was an interesting book, and I actually, by the end, I was appreciating the writing style a little bit more. I feel like our characters went on quite a big personal journey throughout this book that they really needed to go on in this time of their life. I just think it was very different to what I was expecting. I was expecting a more thrilling, suspenseful kind of read, whereas this was very simple and, yeah, simple. I think I'd recommend it, but I wouldn't, like, this wouldn't be the first mystery, contemporary mystery kind of book to recommend. It's kind of giving me the same vibes as God of the Woods. Like, when I finished that, I felt similar because I went into that expecting a full-on mystery, and that was more like a historical fiction with a side of mystery. This is more a contemporary fiction with a side of mystery. I did like how things tied together in the end. I don't know, I just feel like I went on a journey and I didn't get that much out of it, if that makes sense. It was still good. That's my library thing to remind me to return it. And look, I'm glad at the very beginning I had an idea of what the trope was going to be. I'm so glad it was not that trope, because I was absolutely terrified that it was going to be. But that didn't happen, thank God. I think the rating on Goodreads is pretty fair. I think anywhere from a 3.75 to a 3 stars is going to be your average rating for this book. I think that's completely fair. I do think some people could be very bored during it, and others could maybe really love it if they love this kind of style of writing. But yeah, I think it's actually a pretty fair rating for this book, to be honest. I don't know. I just feel like the back isn't like how it says a tragic accident or a murder. I don't know, I just feel like that pitches it as like this really big case, and like we definitely delve into some more dark secrets of the past of this family, you know, things that you wouldn't necessarily know about them. I don't know, guys, I'm mixed on this one. I'm really mixed. I just don't feel that satisfied after ending it, and honestly that's what I usually want to feel when I end a book. But yeah, I've actually started the next book that we are moving on to, and that is Jade Legacy. Now this has an average rating, hang on, let me check, a very high one. I already knew it was quite high because I remember seeing it a while ago on some of the top rated books, of 4.62 out of 5 on Goodreads. That's a very high rating, guys. That is incredibly high, and I pray that it lives up to that rating. So this was, out of my entire TBR, this was the highest rated, obviously. It is the 3rd book in the Greenbone trilogy, the Greenbone saga. If you haven't been watching my videos in the past few months, I guess the past month, I've been making my way through the Greenbone series and absolutely fallen in love with it. I literally cannot recommend it enough. I read the first 2 so quickly, pretty much back to back, and I didn't have the 3rd one physically to read. So we've waited till now, and honestly it's been a hard wait. It's been a really hard wait. I've wanted to jump into this really, really early. I feel like I've explained this so many times by now, so forgive me if you've watched my videos in the past month and you are so sick of hearing the plot for this book. But if for some reason you're new, the Greenbone trilogy, we are following a very powerful family that is able to wield jade. We are set in this city of Janloon, and we are in modern world technically, but Janloon is known for its possession of jade. Jade is like this magical element that can enhance your mental and physical strength, just make you overall powerful. The Carl family that we're following has a lot of jade. They are some of the highest ranked greenbones, which is what you're called if you can weld jade. There is also a rival clan called the Mountain. They've always been like batting heads basically. Their politics do not align for the past however many years. It's kind of hard to explain this plot because I feel like this plot has really caught me off guard. Like, I am so deep in this world now that like saying that initial initial premise feels so odd because like we are so far into this world. The politics is crazy, such intense politics, and I love it. I never thought I'd say that. I never thought I'd enjoy politics this much. I'm obsessed with it. I love the family dynamics in the Cull family. They're very interesting, very conflicting, very complex. All of our characters honestly just have so much depth to them. Then they're such complex characters. We are only 90 pages in, so just a tiny bit, but so far very happy to be back in this world. We're starting off slowly, but I feel like we're already picking up pace, to be honest. I'm really excited to be back with our characters. It's been like 2 weeks since I read the last book, 3 weeks maybe. That's how long I've been separated from these characters, and yet I miss them dearly. I feel like I know these characters. Fond du Lis creates morally grey complex characters I feel like I haven't read about since Six of Crows, and they're some of my favorite characters I've ever read about. So this is quickly becoming a very, very highly rated series from me, and a highly recommended one. Like, please go read it. Anyway, we're gonna keep reading this today. I'm so nervous though. We've made a dent. I feel like this is a good dent into Jade Legacy. We've already been in this world, in this timeline for a few years. That is how quickly we are moving. It's like kind of crazy. I've never read a series that is set over such a long period of time. Like, we span years and years and years. And I get it, okay? I fully get it. Like, first of all, I feel like the first few books was a little bit odd, but I feel like now that I'm expecting like big time jumps like that, I'm kind of loving it. And it makes so much sense for this world because our characters are going through so much, and it's really interesting like seeing them in one chapter and then jumping to them in the next chapter, and like months and months have passed and like this massive life change has happened to them. It's crazy. So we're at page 270 now. I'm gonna like keep reading as soon as I update you. I just needed to update you and get my thoughts out because something just happened, and if that thing just happened and if it's not like a fake thing that's just like making us go crazy for a second, I'm actually gonna lose it. Like, if that happened, no. But I wouldn't put it past Fond du Lis. Like, I really, really wouldn't. I don't trust her. So now I don't know what's gonna happen. Apart from that crazy thing, really enjoying my time in this world. I have been listening to the audiobook just on and off on my morning walks, which has been wonderful. I really like the voice acting for this audiobook as well. When you get this emotionally attached to characters in a book, like that's when you know it's really good, because that just doesn't happen for every book. I've said before that this series just has such high stakes as well. Like, I truly don't think I knew what high stakes meant until I was introduced to this series. Every time I think we're like at the max point of like what my brain can take, I just have to accept that there's more coming, because there always is. The way Fond du Lis writes is so vivid in my mind. I can't describe it, but like her use of imagery, I guess just her use of like literary techniques is so incredibly good that it just creates such a vivid picture in my mind. Maisie has come to join us. Ooh. But they like saying hi to you, Maze. I get a few comments every time Maze is here because I am such a big dog mom and I love my Maisie. She comforts me on all my reads. It's wonderful. I'm gonna keep reading this now and see if what happened actually happened. I don't know how we're gonna go from here. This book is blowing me away. There has not been a second in this book that I have been bored. Hi, my girl. I'm not going to tell you whether that thing happened or not, because if just by chance you are reading this book and you get to that same position as me, where you're like, did that actually happen? And you do have to wait like a good 50 pages or something to figure out whether it did or not. I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'm not saying anything. But oh my gosh. This has been insane. Literally cannot explain the chokehold this series has on me, but our characters, I am feeling so conflicted towards. I feel like I've always liked Shay, but I'm starting to like her a little bit less in this book. I don't know why. I love Wen. Wen is probably one of my favorite characters. I think she is such a strong, intelligent woman, and she really stands up for herself. She has this incredible impact on people she talks to. She's just truly a very like inspiring character, an inspiring woman, and I love that we have this really prominent, independent woman in one of our like leading roles. There is this one POV, if you know, you know, and it makes me mad every time. Well, you might know. I don't know if it's a universal thing that everyone gets really mad when they get to this POV, but it's one POV that just keeps trying to destroy everything, and it makes me mad every time we get that POV. I just like, I can't deal with that stupidity. This book is making me feel all kinds of emotions. As you can see, we're like over halfway through. I have no idea where this is going to go, but literally every spare second I have had, I have been reading this. I've also been listening to the audiobook a little bit more, loving it. I'm really happy that I'm getting into audiobooks a little bit more. I feel like for a long time, I kind of always thought I wouldn't be able to pay attention to them, but I think when I listen to them just on my walks, that's really good for me because I get really immersed. I go for massive walks now because like I'm so immersed in the book that I just want to keep walking so I can keep listening to it. Such an interesting, unique experience having this multitude of like things happening over such a big period of time. That's not something I'm used to. I think the only other series that I've read big time jumps like this is in City of Brass series. I think that's literally the only one I can think of, but it makes for a really, really interesting plot. Like it really makes you just not able to guess what the next thing that's going to happen is. I want to say so much, but I really can't because I can't spoil anything for you guys. But there is so much on my mind. I've really loved seeing Nico's character development. I feel I have very mixed feelings towards him. Like sometimes I love him, sometimes I feel like he's very misunderstood, and sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? But I have very, very mixed feelings towards him. I feel like he's one of the slightly different people in this clan. He really stands out from the rest of them, whether that is good or bad. And I want to know what's going on in his mind. I want to know what like his mind is thinking, how he thinks. Rue, I am scared for. I am so scared for Rue. Oh, I'm so nervous every time he goes outside, basically. I get so nervous. So basically, I'm on the edge of my seat all the time for every single one of our characters. That's pretty much what my update is. Guys, what is happening? This actually can't be happening. What the... no. I'm too connected to these characters. I posted on my story that I'm finishing this book today. You guys all said prepare for tears, and I just wasn't prepared. I actually can't. I'm gonna have a breakdown. Just for an update before I do go have my breakdown. Got like 100 pages left, just over. I don't know how it can get any worse than this. I don't know how it can get any sadder. I do not trust Fonda Lee. She's gone up there with Brandon Sanderson. I'm never gonna ever trust anything they ever write. I've created some of my most favorite characters. I'm so connected to this world. Is so unbelievable. The fact that we have followed our characters, like thinking about the first book and where our characters were when we met them to where they are now. I can't believe I'm this emotional over it. Maybe I'm just like having an emotional day. I don't know. But the way Fonda Lee writes makes you so incredibly connected to these characters that when something does happen, you feel it in your bones. That's the best way I can describe it. Guys, I'm gonna try and finish this today, okay? We're gonna see how we go. Kid you not, we have like 30 pages left. What just happened? I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh my god. I knew this was gonna happen. I had this idea that this was gonna happen. I don't know why I'm so emotional. I can't remember the last time I've cried this much over a book. Oh my god, I am a mess. Guys, chapter 62. Oh my god, I'm just so embarrassed. I don't really want to believe that this series is over because I don't think I've been so immersed in a fantasy series, an urban fantasy series to be more specific, but just in a fantasy series since I read like, I don't know, the Madoran Chronicles, but no, not even. This is way better. I don't know, maybe like Dark Shade of Magic. I just feel like I went to like a massive therapy session and just like cried my eyes out about everything because like coming out of that is crazy. This is 5 stars, guys. I think the average rating should be almost higher, to be honest. I know that's like not possible, but oh my god. That was the most, I want to say like gut-wrenching, hard ending, but also it makes perfect sense for this world because everything about this world is hard and tough and challenging. Like these characters did not get a single break in their lives. Our main protagonist, I guess, like, do we have a main protagonist? Yeah, but like Hilo. I went on such an emotional journey with him, guys. I didn't know whether I loved him or whether I hated him. I love him. I love all our characters. They're all so flawed and they're all so different, and they all have like these, you know, weak spots that are always gonna like make them jeopardize situations, or these strengths that are really gonna make them excel in certain situations. And politics in this was insane, and like their personalities played a part in all of the politics, and I thought that was so clever. Truly, though, one of the best trilogies I have ever read. I am so glad I read this so quickly, like back to back, because I think that really enhanced my experience. This, like, oh my god, this is gonna be like a Crooked Kingdom for me. Like every time I look and think about this book, my heart's gonna break a little bit. I feel like I've been reading so many full-on heavy books at the moment. I really need to read a few romances or something, because this is insane. This is insane reading journeys. Like, this is not okay. It took me about 5 days to read. I actually thought it was going to be a bit quicker than that. I think it was just so dense and thick, but like dense in a good way, if you know what I mean. Like there was so much information given to us, but like in a good way. I wouldn't want any less. Fonda Lee, you have my heart. That was incredible. What a reading week that was. Okay, words, thoughts. I literally can't think of anything else to say other than this was pure perfection, and I haven't read anything this good in a long time. Well, like, that's not true. I read Oathbringer and that was amazing as well. But this was like, I feel like because you knew your character, like I knew our characters so well that I kind of had these little like inklings of what was going to happen. So when that actually happened, I like had to do a double take. I had to reread the page. I was like, no, absolutely not. There were definitely things like that ending was insane. That last, I want to say 50 pages was a wild roller coaster of emotions. As you can see, I was bawling my eyes out for good reason, I think. But then also, like, I was just shocked at some of the action. Like, yeah, we were having action 30 pages from the finish line. It was nonstop. This book, this entire series has been high stakes the entire time. And I think this took place, I think over like 10 or 11 years. Like it takes place over such a long time period. And I feel like that makes it all the more effective. At the beginning, you guys know, I was like iffy about it, but I actually love it. I love it, I've decided. I can't recommend this series enough. This series is so deserving of the rating it has on Goodreads. I feel like I need to just go and lie on the ground and stare at the ceiling for 20 minutes or so. Sorry, I'm being so dramatic. This is so not necessary, but it really did like leave a scar on me in the best way possible. So yeah, seeing me crash out just then, I'm so sorry. Hope it was entertaining at least. But yeah, that is our last read for this video. Obviously it was a short video because only 2 reads, but I hope you enjoyed nevertheless. I hope you had fun reading along with me for the week. I'm about to start a reading vlog that I'm very much excited for, and I think the books are going to be a little bit less intense, thank God. But yeah, very excited for this one. So you guys will be seeing that very soon. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have stayed till the end, thank you so, so much. It truly means the absolute world to me. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you in my next video.